We have a feature from Holland now too. We have an
That's
interview.
correct.
Tell us a bit about the interview you did there.
Sure, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
she lives in Holland and she's seeing firsthand, keeping informed of what's going on there with the migrant situation. And recently there was a report, again, the New Observer Online. Thank you for covering that. Holland is giving families basically $12,000 or 10,000 euros each to each invader family to buy stuff. And the situation there is just insane. It's getting so overcrowded. You know, migrants are taking over certain places in every
Yeah.
little small town. Basically, there's a law now. Even the little rural villages have to take in migrants. So it's massive crime is coming in fast in these cute little, Dutch towns. And the
Wow.
retirement age is getting older, like Sweden.
Yep.
It's hard to find housing for people that want to have more children. It's just awful. So.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. We'll play that interview then, huh?
I sent you an article actually from the New Observer, and it was called Invaders Given 10,000 Euros in Cash in Holland. So what did you think when you saw that article?
When I saw that, I thought, oh, wow, that's even a new level of bad.
10,000 euros. I mean, that's 12,000 US dollars in cash. So do Dutch families get any aid like this?
Yeah, it depends what their problems are, but well, I was talking to my neighbor. He used to be homeless, and when he was finally given a home after years of waiting for it, he had to borrow some money to be able to get some stuff. So he was pretty angry about the news. Yeah.
Okay, so Holland, it's small, it's very overcrowded. So tell us what the situation is there with the migrants coming in and the overcrowdedness.
Well, I remember when I was in school in 1992, I learned that Holland had 14 million inhabitants. That's 17 million now, with the original population shrinking. So that's 3 million migrants have been coming in since 1992. And well, it is very overcrowded. We learned that we are the second most crowded or third most crowded country in the world, right after something like Bangladesh or something.
Jeez.
We've always been fighting water. We had major floods in the 50s. We still don't even know if there's enough land for us in the future, if there's really a problem with water or anything. There's major housing shortage. People wait 10 years for a rental apartment. There's a tremendous traffic jam. It's really bad, and the trains are also full, so the infrastructure can't take anymore. Yeah, and it's just very busy. People who've been on holiday and land back in Holland, they immediately feel a stressy atmosphere because it's just very, very crowded. And the migrants coming in, some of our liberal politicians have been saying we can take 200,000 a year, and that's without family members coming over right after they have been let in. So that is 1 million a year. That's what people in government have been talking.
That's ridiculous. I heard that they're even putting migrants in these empty jails. I mean,
Yeah.
basically any empty buildings, they're putting them in there. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, military bases that we might need to defend ourselves. Yeah, and also asylum centers right next to schools, daycare centers, elderly homes in the middle of neighborhoods, deliberately in the middle of neighborhoods where people live, so that they can integrate quickly. That's the theory they're using. Yeah.
Now, I think you said in an email to me that 75% of these so-called refugees, they're on welfare long term, right?
Yeah, that was, I knew it already, but it took some digging into the government website to get those numbers. But now they have been published by the media that the Syrians, even those who have been here for 2 or 3 years, are 75% on welfare. The same with the Somalians who came before them, and the Iraqis and the Afghans. The Syrians have been basically sold to us, not that we believed it, as very educated people. They tried to sell us a story that they were going to improve our economy and they were going to help us with, that we don't have enough children and they were going to save us from that. But they're on welfare, even if they don't want to be. There's no jobs for them.
I mean, are the Dutch angry? You guys are giving 10,000 euros per one invader family coming in. That's a lot of money, 12,000 US dollars. That's coming from your tax money, right? Are people mad?
Yeah, well, yeah. This is the first thing I heard about that everybody was mad about. Most people in Holland, they get a lot of secondhand stuff for their houses. Buying everything new, that's only for the rich. No, nobody gets that much money. Even if you get forced to move, you get maybe 5,000, and that includes having to move your stuff from one place to another, renting a truck, something these refugees don't need. And this was only one little village that got this much. The average is lower. I thought it was 3,500, but still there are many richer cities that choose to do it like this. Yeah, people are angry. And many people here live at a minimum. They have hardly enough to get by. So nobody has 10,000 euros easily. It takes you years of saving.
Now, tell us about the politicians who are being attacked that are speaking out against this this kind of mass immigration.
Yeah, the history of Holland. I think Holland was, like Denmark, was one of the earliest European countries where the people woke up because, woke up about the migrant situation. In the 90s, we had a politician who was very early speaking out. He was too early. His name was Hans Janmaat, and he said very moderate things that everybody understands today. But the left wing was so angry at him that I believe it was a car bomb they put in his car, and his wife lost a leg. And after that, when his wife would come into Congress with her one leg, people would even laugh.
Oh, awful. That's awful.
Yeah, yeah. Last year, a book was published about that history. That's how our first politician who spoke out got treated. But then another politician, Pim Fortuyn, have you heard about him?
No.
Pim Fortuyn was a very big in Holland. He was going to win. He was probably going to become prime minister. Couldn't be sure, but he was going to win. And I think something like 9 days before elections, he got shot by a left-wing extremist. With him, that opportunity to have an anti-immigration prime minister died. And his party members still got voted in. So many people voted for him, even though he was dead. And then Geert Wilders came up, and everybody knows Wilders, right, internationally.
Yeah.
But he needs a 24/7 protection paid by the Dutch citizens. He sleeps with guards in front of his
Jeez.
bedroom. He's never alone. Yeah, and then we had Theo van Gogh. He was Vincent van Gogh's great-grandson, I believe. He was a filmmaker. He made a film with Ayaan Hirsi Ali about Islam called Submission, and that cost him his life. He was slaughtered in broad daylight. They left an Islamic note on his body stuck to his body with a knife. I don't know how people get away with being extremely left-wing. We have ridiculous politicians like the one who said we can have 200,000 next year. I think in Holland, I think 1/3 of the country is wide awake and demands this to stop, and 2/3 watch television every day and are told every day that Islam is a religion of peace, that we need to help these people, that we're so rich that we shouldn't be, shouldn't keep it all to ourselves. So yeah, a lot of people still need to wake up.
So what is the future? What do you have for anti-immigration parties? Are you hopeful of anything?
Because Pim Fortuyn, who was a great candidate, got murdered, we're now basically stuck with the Freedom Party, which is better than nothing, but very Zionist and, not the kind of people I would trust, but I think many people are still going to vote for him. And even if he wins, they've already said there's going to be what they call a cordon sanitaire. That's what's happening in Belgium, that all parties declare that they will never go into office with the Freedom Party. So, so even if they win, they're going to be the biggest party. There's still going to be opposition. Yeah, the Dutch, for some reason, they are always so calm. They're so calm. If you see France and Belgium and Spain and Italy, everybody's in the streets protesting. And here we're sitting on the couch watching television. I don't know, it's still not happening. There were protests against asylum centers all over the place, and I helped with that. There was, for example, this town, small town Hees, in the same province where Oosterwijk now is giving the people so much money to move. And there, there was so much protest that city council could not have that asylum center there. But that took hanging pigs from trees. They put lots of sand in the mayor's garden. They threw fireworks, tried to break the windows of the city council building, and later did so. There was lots of violence. Yeah, that's how they did it. So there is protest, but it's local, and it's usually in the country. The big cities are numb. They're totally numb, and very Muslim already.
Oh, jeez. What is the Muslim population in Holland now?
It's slightly over 1 million at the moment.
Wow.
And we have another 1 million non-Western immigrants, many of which are basically on the side of freedom, but not all. And we have Islamic parties now in cities, and also we have basically a Turkish party. I like all attention that Holland can get for their problems, because we cannot solve it by ourselves. We need to work together.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome.
Wow. How about that, huh? Incredible.
It's just outrageous. Makes me so mad. We were there in Holland, and we were driving around in the countryside. I was like, "What countryside? It's all farms.
Yeah.
It's all being built up. There's no room, people. There's no room in Europe, in Germany, all these places. It has to stop.
Africa
all these
is
people need
huge.
To go back.
Africa, Middle East, Asia. It's a huge
of land.
huge lands.
Yes.
Continents.
If they're so equal to us, they can build something there.
Well, that's what disproving equality right off the bat, right there. If we're all equal, why haven't they created European civilization in their countries?
Yeah. And of course, we know all these people aren't refugees, but even Syria, Syria's a big country. We were looking at the map the other day. It's actually quite big, and the whole country isn't in a state of war. There's places they can go and build things. If they made the iPhone, they can build a new little town or something. Right?
Oh, they didn't make the iPhone.
They didn't,
they copied, or they got the contract to build it. After whites were there building up the factories. Yeah. All right.
Anyway, about Hertja, I want to say that hopefully she doesn't get mad at me for saying this, but she is single. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Maybe someone who's over in Holland wants to connect with her. She's a beautiful young psychologist and on the same page. So.
Well, we got to vet these guys then before we send them forward to Hertja, right? So.
Some credentials before I forward it on to her.
No, but that's good. We got to help people to hook up here, That's true. Right. We talked about that though for like a social network. We should have like a dating, section in there or something,
But we just don't want it to be tons of guys and then no girls, What happens?
But there are a lot of girls.
Girls
now,
talk
though.
to other girls, So I hear from all those girls all the time. So I'm always thinking, who can I set her up with?
Well, we saw that at Amran. There was probably more women at a conference like that than I've ever seen before.
That is
which
correct.
is very, very good.
There were single and then also many with their men, but there were single ones walking around there.
Time to shut it down before babies get made here.
That's right.